You're a Taurus born April 20th to May 20th. What can you expect for the month of January 2020? Let's tune in and find out. So some of you there may be some people who want to question your motives, who want to have a deeper conversation with you, who want to have more understanding about why you did things a certain way or why you're setting things up a certain way. It feels like intense family matters. It feels like your children could be questioning you about favoring one child over another, or how you're spending your income, or whether you've got a new relationship and where do they stand. So it feels very personal. It feels like there's some it feels very personal. It feels like somebody's really questioning. At the end of the day, they want to know if they're loved, and at the end of the day, they want to know if if you're going to show that love to them, right? And it's Taurus, so it's a very money grounded, possessions, has to do with your wealth, has to do with your home, has to do with your belongings. So whether you're creating a will, or whether you've just newly gotten married, or whether this has been symptomatic of a new marriage that you've had for a decade, and your children from the previous marriage are seeing you taking care of these their step siblings, but they don't feel taken care of, right? So there may be from the old family coming forward wanting to have a conversation with you or talking to you about it. Or if that's not the case, it could be you wanting to have a conversation with your parent about where you stand, and what's doing, their will, and what's going on with them, and how things are dictated. And so it feels very much like it's around money, and it feels very much it's around what about me, and how am I taking care of myself, or people questioning you how you're taking care of yourself, and may see you as selfish, or as one-sided. So just be aware that there's some sensitive conversations around money and around some politics in the family. And if it's not the family business, or it's not the family essence, then it is something that could be like if you're an entrepreneur, and these could be your employees, profit sharing, things like that. But it feels personal. It feels very personal. Okay, so something that you're going to have to deal with this month. But the good news is there's new beginnings here, and once all the information is up and cleared, you'll be able to find common ground to have conversations about. You'll be able to find, well, what is fair and what works. And so you're being asked to kind of step back out of yourself and not have a myopic view of what's happening. And it's not about justifying and defending, but it's really about finding common ground. And so that's what you're being asked to do. You're being asked to surrender, and being asked to kind of not be righteous about it, even though it may be your money or your situation. You're just being asked to have to like relax into listening to what other people have to say, right? Let go, or nobody's saying that you're wrong, but if you keep justifying and defending, people don't feel heard. So this is about you stopping and listening and hearing where somebody else is at instead of you justifying or defending your actions. And then when you can acknowledge where somebody else is at, then you can take this in a different direction. And then there may be nothing else for you to do other than to acknowledge where they're at. Okay, let's look at romantic relationships for Taurus. Well, this is for you standing up for yourself. You're going to have to stand up, and you're going to have to speak your truth with your partner, what's right for you. You're going to have to make some better decisions that are coming from your heart, as opposed to just checking off the box because that's what the partner wants. So there is some changes that are going to happen in the relationship, conversations in the relationship that are going to better you together, but it's also about expanding where you've been. And so it's not about doing things as you've always done. It's about expanding them into a way that works for both of you. So there's going to be some expansion conversations, things that haven't worked out, things that maybe you weren't aware of have been going on, and now you're seeing like, I didn't know this. I didn't know that's how you were handling that. And so there's some information that's going to come to light that you weren't aware. And it's not that your partner was hiding it. It's just like they're just doing it because they needed to do it. It needed to be done. And you were too busy to ask. And it was just kind of like, everybody's doing their own thing. And then suddenly you stop and go, wait, that's what you've been doing with the money, or that's what you've been putting it there instead of here. So there's just this miscommunication. And again, it feels like it's around money in the romantic relationship, or about the way in which you approach things. So going to have some changes there. But I also feel like you can have a laugh over it too. It doesn't feel so intense and like, oh my God, this is divorce material. It doesn't feel like, oh, like that. It just feels like kind of like just being informed, and you weren't informed. And so because of that, there's going to be some changes. Now, the good news is you guys are on the same page. So you want the same things. So it reminds me of, like, when you're adding the number up to number 10, somebody can go 6 plus 4 and the other person goes 12 minus 1, 12 minus 2, and that equals 10, right? So you're coming at it from different ways, but you both get there. So it's it can be really playful. It doesn't have to be intense. As far as romance goes, there's an opportunity for you guys to really, especially like that third weekend in January, just to kind of get away and spend some romantic time with each other and not have it be so intense. And that's that, I see the new moon in Aquarius, January 24th, can be really romantic and fun and for you guys. But I do feel some of these other things would want to be worked out first, or it can be a little more intense or harrowing with that new moon. If you don't have some of these other conversations earlier in the month cleaned up, then it become more of a kind of a tit for tat, or just something that's in the space that you need to clear before you can have a really good time. All right, let's look at your career. Well, wait a second. For those of you who are single and interested in romance, let's see what's in store for you, Taurus. There may have somebody that you just met that's exciting, or that you're interested in, and you're being asked just to go at your own pace. Don't feel pushed or rushed, and allow yourself to kind of trust the process. But at the same time, you do want to step out of the box. You do want to step out of your comfort zone, but you want it to come from within yourself, as opposed to somebody else telling you, or any fear of like, oh my God, I better hurry up or I'm going to miss that person. You want to hold the space of like, no, if they're my person, it's going to work out. But then still at the same time, take actions that are outside of your comfort zone to push you to do things. So if you're not the type of person that would text after you have meet somebody, then push yourself to text them, like that sort of thing. Or if you don't really ask somebody out until you get to know them, 3, 4 weeks or 5 weeks, then push yourself to do it in week 1 or 2 instead, right? So just up your game a little bit. It's just going to increase your charisma and make you seem more flexible. And it's also going to make the other person feel good, like they're being pursued some way. Okay, so there is an opportunity for you to have some fun and to really connect, but you just want to listen intuitively and then take some action with it. All right, let's look at your career for Taurus. So I definitely feel like you're ending one thing and starting another, and whether that's you changed locations, but you're still with the same company, or you were working in one department and now you've been transferred to another department. But I definitely feel like it's a win. It feels like there's a feather in your cap. It feels like it's a good move. It feels like there's maybe more responsibility with it, but overall, I feel like it's positive. If you're not aware of it, it may happen here in March, like in the next 2 months. So just look for that promotion, look for that opportunity, or that sudden news like, hey, we're shutting down this department. But good news is we're putting you in charge of this department over here. So it may be something like that that's sudden and quick, but there's a place for you. Okay, so there is a place for you. So if something does close down quickly, there is a place for you. And if it's not within that organization, if you put your feelers out, you'll immediately be scooped up. So I'm not worried about you having any lag time. If anything, this is kind of like a blessing that there's good promotion and good money coming here for you with this, with what just happened with that, with the eclipse that happened on Christmas. So that's paving the way here. Okay, let's look at any money for Taurus. Well, I feel like you may have recently loaned a lot of money, given a lot of money away, spent a lot of money, but I feel like you're kind of surprised that you're low on money, that you were expecting there would be more money there. So I feel like a little bit of surprise that you don't have, that your money is where it's at. But I also feel like if you slow down, you notice, it's not a problem because you have more money coming in, but I want to say that the reserves seem smaller than what you were finding about. And that may be a surprise to you. So it could be that you go to the accountant, he says, hey, we didn't do so well with stocks, or this, or you had this other big thing that we had to take a hit on, and you paid for the XYZ college and all of this, and now your numbers are here. So I feel like there's like, oh, wasn't aware of that. But the good news is that there's this huge potential that's coming in too. So there is something that's coming in on the horizon that's very big and supportive of you financially. Okay, so let's see what else is in store here for your health. So I feel like blood pressure. You like blood pressure, like just keeping your blood pressure under control, being calm, not getting upset or out of sorts, because I feel like there's a lot to do. And I feel like there's a big opportunity for you, and you want to prove yourself and you want to get things done. And so it feels like self-imposed of time frames that you're putting on yourself. I don't feel like anybody else is putting those time frames on you. I feel like you're putting them on yourself. And I feel like that's a bad deal. Like, don't do that, because it just feels like it doesn't work for your health to put so much stress on yourself. So it's really about learning how to be more in the flow, read more of the signs of where you are, and hire more people or bring more help in, whether it's just in-home help or whether it's at your career or your job. But I feel like you just need more hands on deck, and that's going to help your health improve. You'll feel less stressed, you'll feel more relaxed, and you'll just get more done. All right, so, and if that's not an option to hire people, then it's just, well, you're going to just do a little bit less and be happy. And that feels like it's going to make a difference in your health. Let's see if there's anything unexpected for Taurus this month. Yeah, I feel like there's some unexpected wealth coming in the form of goods. So whether you hit a big sale and buy a favorite pair of shoes that you saw on sale and you weren't buying it before, or whether it's a bigger ticket item like a car or a house, but I definitely feel that it is monetary. It's something that you buy, that you acquire, that's greatly reduced or at a big discount because you wanted it, or something you've had an eye on for a long time, and you actually have the money to buy it. It actually goes on sale, or somehow it's brought to your attention. So there is this unexpected gift that you get this month that is, for some of you could even be a phone, right? Like it even be like a new phone, but it is something that that you've wanted for a long time, and it comes in and it really makes you happy. And I feel like the money's not a problem. I feel like you have the money because of the discount to work it out and to actually buy it. All right, Taurus, so interesting month for you guys. A lot of opportunity for you to have good communication and to be able to be seen and heard and get what you want, working with some boundaries, being able to receive from other people. There's a lot of things that come to light that you weren't aware of around communication. Either it's people, their thoughts and feelings of you, or thoughts and feelings about your actions, but things that you weren't aware of. So there's some good heart-to-heart healing and communication that can go on. It's not always comfortable when you have to have those conversations, but they're always worth it and always rewarding. So it does feel like it's a big month in terms of healing and being able to move forward and having prosperity in your life, and absolutely with love. And I see you pulling in your partner and really being able to get on the same page with your partner. So the only thing stopping you is your own fear, and your own fear of saying whatever needs to be said, and also being able to listen and take it in without feeling criticized, but just take it in from their point of view. And then I feel like it will be much better all the way around. All right, Taurus, thank you so much for viewing and watching and liking my intuitive astrology. Have a wonderful and happy 2020. Wishing you much prosperity and good health and love. And I look forward to seeing you here again next month.